Thank you so much. And it's great to be with you today. And I know we're all just finding our way through this new world that we found ourselves in. And what I've been calling my business now is my now business. Because whatever I was thinking about, working on, or planning before the pandemic, it just kind of like evaporated. And so I think that it's a perfect opportunity right now to create newly. And so I want to give you a tool today that will help you do that. And it's called my strategic attraction tool. And let me just tell you, I'm an author, and I created a tool that I'll tell you about today. And it's all stemmed from this book that I started or wrote and published in the year 2001. It came out, and it's called Attracting Perfect Customers, the Power of Strategic Synchronicity. And what that really means to me is that when I started working with the strategic attraction plan, that I noticed that some things just out of the blue started to happen. You know, like get invited to speak on an event like this, or a new client, or somebody referred somebody and they called me, or an email came through that I wasn't expecting. And all of that came as a result of me getting clear and focused on what's perfect for me. And that's what I call a strategy. It's the clarity, it's the understanding. And I do things a little differently in that I look inside of myself to see, who do I want to attract? Who do I want to work with? And so that's what the strategic attraction plan is all about, is to getting clear about, first of all, who is that type of relationship? And I think all of our businesses have changed a little bit, maybe some, maybe more than others. And it's time to reevaluate, push that restart button. So whatever you were thinking it was before, I invite you to start today in your now business with this strategic attraction plan. And before I give you that, I will tell you I have one other book, and I'm going to give this as a gift. There'll be a link for you to actually receive this book. It's the second book that I wrote, called Being Attraction: What Love Has to Do with Business and Marketing. And I wrote this book after the first one because after working with thousands and thousands of entrepreneurs all over the world on what was the perfect way to market and sell to the people that they want to attract, the Being Attraction book just seemed like I needed to clarify something. Two things. One, who am I being, and who is, who do I really love? And how is the business that I'm creating something that I truly love? And I found that one thing stood out more than all the rest when I was working with those clients. And I wondered about that. Why are some people more finding results and success with my strategic attraction plan than others? And I really found out that what that is, it's about your being. Who are you being? Who am I being? And so that's part of the strategic attraction plan, is to learn to shift our being. And we certainly are all getting a dose of that, aren't we, over the last few months, to shift our sails and be ready to move at a moment's notice. And that's what being is all about. And entrepreneurs are so good at this. So that's a little bit of an introduction. You can find more about me at perfectcustomers.com. You can always write me, Jan@perfectcustomers.com too. So you can find me all over Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn. So you can connect with me. So, and I'd love to hear from you. So let's take out just a quick piece of paper, not a quick piece of paper, but any kind of paper. And I like to really old school it. Just plain white paper works. But you know what? I've done them on paper this size, and it still had great results. So I'm going to share with you my strategic attraction plan, and I'd love to go through the whole plan in depth with you today, but I'm not going to be able to do that. So I'm going to give you enough for you to want to know more, but also enough that if that's all you ever did, it will have made a difference for you. So the strategic attraction plan is a 5-step plan, and it's designed to get your your insights, your clarity about who is a perfect fit for you in your business. And so your relationships in business could be a client, a customer, it could be a vendor, it could be an employee, an employer. This plan fits any kind of relationships. But for today, I'm just going to refer to your perfect client or customer. So the first step is one that you might have already taken if you've been creating your online avatar. This might sound familiar. It's to describe, and you can write this down if you'd like, describe the qualities, characteristics, and attributes of my perfect relationship, whatever that is. Let's say it's a customer or client. So let me say that again. Describe the qualities, characteristics, and attributes of my perfect client. So let's just think of a couple of those kind of things. If you were to wave your magic wand, and I didn't bring my wand today, so this will be my magic wand, my pen. If you were to wave your magic wand today and you could bring in and attract any type of customer today, what would they be like? And I tell people, how do you get started, figuring that out? And I tell people that if someone walked in the room, or you walked into a room full of people, what would you notice? What would stand out to you as important? Would they be a certain age, or a woman or a man? Would they look a certain way? Would they dress a certain way? Would they have a big smile? I have that on my attraction plan, that they smile and they beam at me from across the room. I have those kind of descriptions. Are they friendly? Are they fun? Do they like family? Why is that important in a business relationship? Well, because people resonate with one another. And so if I'm clear about the things that are important to me, it's going to really be important to the people that I work with too. Another way that you can get in touch with your perfect customer and the description of them is think about somebody you've already worked with that you just adored working with them. Every time you knew they were calling, you were excited, or you were meeting with them, you couldn't wait. What were some of the things you remember about that customer? Oh, well, they took my coaching very seriously. They followed through. They kept their appointments. They paid my invoice early or on time. They could afford my services. Maybe they live in a certain geographic area. Maybe you like to do local marketing and they live in your hometown. Or maybe they're more online presence and you want to connect with them that way. What would be a way that you might like to meet your perfect customer? These are all things for step number one. So step number one, again, is just to describe that certain someone that you would love to work with. All right, I know you could tell I'd like to talk about this, but I'm just gonna give you the next step because there's 4 more after the first one. So there's 5 total steps. And the second one is what I call a deeper dive. And the deeper dive is where you go from just the descriptions, the surfacey kind of things, if you will, to where do they live? Like what's inside of their heart and soul. Now, these are the kind of people I like to resonate with, don't you? Like when you think about the most important and significant relationships in your life, there was that bond, that glue that stuck your relationship together. Well, I call that what makes you tick. And to discover what makes me tick, I think about that one thing that gets me out of bed, doing the same thing over and over. And that's what we do as entrepreneurs. I've been doing this business now for 20 years. This is my 20th. And what was it that got me out of bed every single day and keep going at it again and again? And that's what makes me tick. So I'll share mine with you, and then you can be thinking about yours. And I'd love to work with you about this. I do teach classes so that we can help you to hone this. And what makes me tick is being voice of feminine spirit. And when I really got that, it like put all the disparate pieces of my life together. Why was I always so wanting to be creative? As a younger child especially, I did lots of art projects. I was very intuitive. I was into dance. I was very flowy rather than real constricted and real regimented. These were all the things that were important to me. And what I found is that when I was relating to other people in business, that the voice of feminine spirit was so needed, that people were missing that feminine energy. And then I like to bring that to the table when I'm in a business setting, especially because we all know we have to have structure. I'm not debating that, but we can bring creativity to it. We can bring our imagination. And that's really what the strategic attraction plan is all about. So step number 2 is to identify what makes me tick. Step number 3, specify what I want my perfect customers to expect of me. Specify what I want my perfect customers to expect of me. Now that's step number 3. And this is the part of plan where I look inside of myself, and the tip would be that my perfect customers want me to have what I want. So what is that? So if I can have anything I want and my perfect customers want me to have that, what would be the sales? What would be the number of clients I'd work with? What would be the fees they would pay with me? Where would I live? What kind of car would I drive? On and on. How would I dress? What kind of technology would I use? Would I have lots of social media where we'd meet more one-on-one? So step number 3 is all about myself and what I want, because like attracts like. If I want this, my perfect customers want me to have it. And then step number 4 is all about that being thing. And it's a declaration I found, is that step number 4 is to declare, who do I get to be? Who do I get to be to attract everything I say I want? You know, like this morning, I was kind of a mess, truthfully. I was not sure what time I was going to be speaking, and I was trying to put my things together for the day. And I found I needed to shift my being. I'm like, okay, opportunity to get to meet and greet and be with people today through this wonderful, wonderful speaker's pathway. And so I had to shift my being. And that's what step 4 is about, is that any moment we can go from being like pitiful Jan was being this morning, oh, I'm rushed, my hair, blah, blah, blah. You know, what will I say? All those, you know, nagging things that can happen in a morning. I got to shift my being. And I so hope you're getting that I love what I do. And that's about really being what my work is and stepping into it and declaring it and letting people know this is who I am. That's the 4th step. And then the 5th step is not in either one of my books, because I really added it to inspire people to take action. And so step number 5 is to take attractive actions. And what that means to me is that the world is so full of dazzling distractions. And I don't need to define that for any of us. There's so many things going on, especially now. Dazzling distractions can really pull us in a direction that isn't on our path. And so use this simple 5-step process for your own benefit. Use the link that I'm going to send you to step into how you can do a deeper dive for yourself, or contact me and I'll be happy to share with you more tips on how you can take more attractive actions and stop taking dazzling distractions. But I'll give you one last tip on the dazzling distraction thing, is how do I know when I'm being dazzled? Well, sometimes it's super obvious, and sometimes it looks good, but I'm not quite sure if I should take that step or that action. And a dazzling distraction is just that. There's no decision. It's hard to make a decision. It can feel this way or that way and not real clear. But an attractive action is something that when I take it, it's solid. I know this is my next step and I feel good about it. So these are the 5 steps to my how you can attract more loyal raving fans to your business. I find that my fans stick with me for a long time. I'm doing a class right now, as a matter of fact, and I have clients that are coming back, you know, from 2005, 2006. So loyal raving fans is much more of a excitement to work with when they love your work and they love who you are and you love them and who they are. And so that's what our strategic attraction plan is all about. So let me wrap it up this way, is to just kind of give you a summary. that a strategic attraction plan is a way to attract a relationship to you, such as a customer or client. And by looking inside of yourself of what's perfect for you, describe them. That's step one. Describe what they're like, what they look like, what their qualities are. Step two, take the deeper dive inside of yourself of what makes you tick, because that's going to be the same for you and the people that you love to work with. Step number three is getting clarity about what do you want your perfect customers to expect of you. Well, I want them to expect me to have fill in the blank. This is all about you. And then it's the being. When I stepped into the being of that I'm an entrepreneur and I own this business and by golly, it's going to happen. Guess what? 20 years later, I'm still here. So then take those attractive actions. And today an attractive action has been to allow yourself to watch this today and get inspired. And I'm very happy for that. Check out some of the free gifts that we're giving away in the Speaker's Pathway. And thank you for tuning in. I'm very grateful to be with you today.
Wow, thank you so very much. That was a wonderful presentation you gave, and I really enjoy the fact that you mentioned about, how you want to present yourself and attract your like kind of customers, people like you, see, because you got a lot more in common. That's a good common base to build from.
Absolutely.
Because people got to know you, people got to like you, people got to trust you. So you got to have a lot in common. I like that very much.
Yeah.
I got a kick out of what you said there earlier about, you got the email from me because Don sent me an email and he says, Jim, I forgot to notify the participants, they're going to be on today. So I just copied the link, sent you, okay, we're going to be on the call today. And then I get calls from you and another lady, hey, what time do we start? And I said, well, about the top of the hour.
Go on with the show. Be ready. I mean, that takes some being shifting to shift in the moment. And we have to all, as entrepreneurs, be ready to make that shift. So
be ready for the unexpected because it's coming. And I remember the second time I was live on the radio, I was still trying to figure out how to spell co-host.
That's great.
We were about 20 seconds from going live.
Yeah.
And we're on a satellite radio. And all of a sudden the host drops off. He lost his communication with us, with the station. And so now we're live. And I started off, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. This is Jim Grant. I'm the co-host. I said, the host, he's still, finishing up a very important project. He'll be here as quick as he can. He's working for the Honeydew Corporation. And she said, if he didn't get that done, he was going to get some thumb therapy. So that's why he's going to be a little late. I just made a joke out of it. Just pulled something out of the top of my hair and just went right on. Because sometimes in the world of speaking and when you're doing webinars and things of this nature, it's very important to be flexible. And
absolutely.
Just, hey, I got a problem here, but like sometimes when I'm doing something with the technical stuff that the producer of the radio show does, I'll hit the wrong button or something like that. That's why, folks, good help's hard to find.
That's great.
And just laugh about it because learn to laugh at yourself because that way you'll never be bored. At least I'm not.
I love that our world has become more about connection than perfection. Yes. And people like to see the human side of all of us, I think.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, with me, that's not a problem.
Me too.
But
me too.
Most importantly, would you be so kind as to share your website and your email address and mention your book again, please?
You bet. My website is called www.perfectcustomers.com. Perfectcustomers.com. That's plural. And you can write me at jan@perfectcustomers.com. I read all my own emails, so you can send that directly to me. And my book is on the website, but if you'd like to look it up on social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, etc., or me, I'm all there. This one is the one that got everything going. It's called Attracting Perfect Customers, The Power of Strategic Synchronicity.